Aloha, we are live. We are live on our Set the Pace. We do this every other week now um, because of some schedule constraints. But here we are. So we'll cover some of the topics that we couldn't cover in 2 weeks. We'll kind of bundle everything up in a week. And today, the topic, our theme is fall self care. So the season of fall self care and the seasonal changes according to the season. But here in Hawaii is a little bit different. So I did a little bit of let's just look some stuff up, a little bit of research, and I'll share with you some of the important or interesting facts on that season change and what is self-care. So self-care is one of the things that we talk about all the time, every single time that we're here together, and what you can do for self-care. That's super simple, especially if you are busy. I don't know anybody that tells me that they have all the time in the world. So things that are easy, simple, effective, and some of our mental health challenges too. That's part of our talk today. So we'll just chat, and with the wisdom and knowledge from Christina and Teddy, we can kind of touch on a lot of different things and some of the solutions. Okay. So welcome, Teddy and Christina. Hello. Awesome. All right. So first, we have the season change on the 23rd of this month, I believe. But here in Hawaii, we don't have a huge change in season, right? But we do
Right.
have the light, it's not light as long. So it starts getting a little darker a little earlier. So I feel like we kind of lose an hour, kind of. It's like how it would be an hour or hour and a half or two.
Yeah.
So I pulled up some of the statistics, and there is some statistics on SAD, right, which is the seasonal disorder that happens when the seasons change, and 5% of the adults feel that. So basically, you feel a little depressed as the season changes at this time of the year. And usually, people that feel that it's 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 happening every year, so it's yearly, and it's higher in northern regions. So 10% of the people in northern states like Alaska, um, compared to 1% in Florida, which I would say, because there's no stats for Hawaii in this, but I would say we're kind of like the same as far as weather goes. And women are more likely to feel the effects of this changes. There is an age factor also. So it happens in all ages, but it's commonly diagnosed, surprisingly, in young adults, so 30s. And it could be also on the onset could start like later in teenage years. Very interesting, because I'm in my 30s, so a lot of my friends like Christina and a lot of the friends that I have are moms. So then I kind of join both things together because I feel that being a mom and having all these other factors can kind of snowball into all of it. And also, the mental health is a statistic that's connected to it. It says that the National Institute of Mental Health, so 19.1% of United States adults experience any mental illness in 2020. And during the seasonal change, it became even more intense. So, yeah. So then we just going to elaborate a little bit on how um, that's all piled up together in mental health that's connected to, we talked about trauma last time, and it is connected to that too, because things can kind of trigger, and the impact that it has on the daily life, which is sometimes people can't function, sleep, social withdrawal, so they don't want to be around people, and productivity. Like you can't be productive if you feel all of these things, right? So, and we'll talk about how we kind of overcome that. And it's a day to day thing, because some days are easier and some days are definitely harder. So 2 days ago was definitely harder, and we're gonna talk about the adaptive system that was my go-to a couple of days ago. So for you girls, what is the links, the connections, the parallels that you see with the season changing and mental health, emotions? Christina can talk a whole lot about emotions, so can elaborate more on that.
I feel
Go
like
ahead,
we all,
Christina.
I feel like we all can talk about emotions. But yeah, no, I'm off the Hawaiian Islands and back on the mainland now, not in an area that gets intense seasonal change, being in the Bay Area of California, but we still definitely see seasonal change. A big one for us is the rains are about to come. So it's gonna start to get cooler weather and rainy weather. And yeah, that can definitely add to seasonal feelings of not wanting to go out and interact with others and trying to stay cozy. Um, so it's important to continue friendships and going along that path when that happens, for sure. Um, and yeah, it for in terms of self-care and being adaptable for when things get rough, I agree with you, Pam. For me, the adaptive system is also very helpful, as well as Copaiba and balance. The balance blend is also very helpful. But I really appreciate the fact that my kids know about these oils too, and they go to these exact oils when they feel like they need help. So my older girl is about to turn 10. She loves taking Copaiba internally. So she loves, putting it under her tongue. I love that for her. And they know when to roll on, things like adaptive and stuff like that when they're feeling not okay. And I'm lucky enough that when we do have things going on and I am mentally there and don't get lost in my own dwindling of emotion when they're having a breakdown, because that happens, right? It's up to the parent to stay strong emotionally to help the kids through what they're going through, because they don't have the prefrontal cortex and the brain power, literally, to manage emotions. And that's why it's important for us as their adult role models to be that strength for them and to model it. So it's hard when we're not regulated to be that role model. So I'm always grateful for my oils. Let's put it that way.
Oh, it, I had a meeting with this sweet friend Yogi from Sweden. So 6 years ago, I was in Sweden and I went to her studio. We taught classes there and we introduced the doTERRA lifestyle at that time. This is 6 years ago, and so things happened. COVID hit. She went through changes. There's no more physical studio now. So when we were talking about how, and she sent me a message. And Jenny, if you're watching, hi. She's amazing, and she sent me a message and she goes, "Hey, I'm ready to share this lifestyle, talk about it, because it's been something that's been helping me for the past few years, and I really want to share with people, and it makes sense for me to share." And the emotional aspect of it was a big thing, but also what I shared with her was the whole fear and sometimes doubt. The fear comes from just people just not knowing around kids and the use of the plants. So, from my own experience, I think for me, that's what I could take as the biggest example of doing it is with my kids. So, that's what they've done since they were literally out of the womb. As soon as they came out and through my pregnancy, I also feel like was one of the most powerful tools that I had handy all the time. So, and we will talk a little bit about that. But my kids, just like your kids, right, Christina, they like Copaiba for them is they already know, and they know like that. I want my Copaiba, and they just if you show them the bottle, it's automatic. They open their mouth. They're ready to do it, and they're more connected, and they have a lot more sensations than we do, because we've been so programmed and a little jaded. So, but they feel it, right? And it's amazing because they ask for it. So especially Addie, she asks for it, and I feel that's the best way to see how something is working. So for the parents, this is something that you can absolutely get well versed in, and it doesn't require a PhD, because if it did, we wouldn't be here right now, except for Dr. Carla. And but it's amazing what you can learn from living and doing, and that is the best gift that I've gotten from living this lifestyle. So doTERRA has been the best school that I could have possibly attended. So going back now to the children in emotional health, there is also the connection. So here I just put it lasts 40% of the year, like 100% of the year. You're talking it's 12 months. So it's basically almost half of your year. It's 5 months out of the year that you're feeling a SAD, but it's also for SAD, but it's just the syndrome, right? Um, that shouldn't be this way. And a lot of the light therapy. So I don't know how it is where you are, Christina, because you're in California, so it's different. But I know that I talked to friends in Oregon, Washington, and they say that light therapy is a thing. So do you have an experience with that? We never had to do it because we have plenty light, right? How do you know anything about it? Have you done it? I researched it a little bit, so it's pretty awesome to see the results.
Yeah, I've never attended a light therapy session, but I do know they are available. There's a lot of different holistic spas that I've been starting to follow and see their different offerings. So some not only have red light therapy for cellular rejuvenation health, but they do have the, I think, is it blue light? But yeah, there's the seasonal light therapy available in some places as well. So I suggest that if you don't there's things available online that I've seen people purchase for their home use. So if that's not something that you're able to do, then Google and see if there's places around you. But definitely. And sometimes when you wake up in the morning, there is that nice morning light, and if you have the opportunity, that's the best time to get out there and experience the sun and get your vitamin D and light for your kickstart of the day. So
And I add on the red light therapy. So I've been doing red light therapy healing here in Kailua, and I did a little bit of research, and there are panels that you can buy, but there's a trade-off of if you want to run it in your house and get your house hot, add electricity, it's going to up your electrical bill. And there's also EMFs that are being radiated off of these panels. So that's just it. It's like, there's definitely a trade-off of, if you want to purchase it on your own, you might think that you're saving money and all that, but then it's generating EMFs. So think about that. And yeah, like there are a lot of spas on the mainland that are doing, the colored light therapy and stuff like that. So again, you got to kind of like pick and choose. And again, do your research. Like, do you want to just, have a trade-off in that? I opted to just support a local business and leave my house and go, they have air conditioning, you know what I mean? Like because if I buy a unit and run it in my house, again, that it's just, my electric bill, my house gets hot. So, that's my experience with it,
I love red light therapy. So red light, just to kind of explain it a little bit, it's, I would say, a little bit more connected to cosmetic benefits. So production of collagen, but also people talk about inflammation, right? So inflammation, but from research, they say
Well,
blue
and it
light
goes, yeah, and
is
it goes a certain
for-
millimeter under the skin. Yeah, if it goes, under the skin, then it's actually getting into, it's good for metabolic wellness. And like Pam said, inflammation. And
Yeah.
that's initially why I started going was, I started going 8 years ago for inflammation, to help reduce inflammation. I really feel like, and as a side benefit, it was, good for my skin. So
yeah, it's pretty amazing. And connecting, oh, it's cosmetic because you feel good, you look good. That has a whole lot to do with mental health. That has a whole lot to do with combating any of the the blues, right? That comes with either seasonal change or life change or trauma, whatever it is, because life is not linear. So, but one of the things that I looked at a lot, so we talked about a whole bunch about nutrition. So we kind of know that already, right? We know that nutrition is important, is directly connected to mental health, and building community is super. It's all, I would say that maybe if you have everything not going right, as far as like nutrition, sleep, and your daily habits and exercising, if you have community, I think you're good, right? However, without your health, you can't be there for the community. So it's a trade-off for sure, and it's a give and take. But if you tend, like myself, if I feel like I'm not my best, I'd rather not show up. And we should do the other way around. If you don't feel your best, you should really reach out to people. So I've gotten better about that. And it's not and I think we all kind of feel like that, especially the moms that I'm around. You just don't want to bring people down when you're like, I don't want to be a victim, right? I don't want to, so I want to have my pity party all by myself. However, I've changed the ways that I cope with it. So we have the tools which we use at the house, right? The plants are here, essential oil supplements, and then I reach out to friends and we go do something that makes me feel good. And a couple weeks ago was friend and I went to the Korean spa, and that was awesome. So get
Oh,
a
yes.
girlfriend. Oh yeah, like 3 pounds of skin
They're
on
the
that.
best.
Yeah, so just knowing to and really being aware of how we change the way that we deal with things. So for me, only recently, probably a year or so, that I've been shifting my ways of coping with things and counting on community more than I did before. Very, very seldomly I would reach out and be like, hey, can you help me with this? Or can the kids stay for a couple hours with you? I would never ask people that. And then now I feel like, okay, this is okay to do, right? Yeah, so community, big time. What is the community oil again? It's cedarwood, right? Cedarwood is the oil of community. And guaiac wood, which I got it for free this month. So did Teddy and Christina, right? We got it as a gift through the doTERRA Loyalty Rewards program, which is like a cashback program. We got, and the guaiac wood is the Palo Santo. So if you're familiar with Palo Santo, if you're not familiar with Palo Santo, so Palo Santo is usually burnt as a wood stick, right? To cleanse. You first cleanse with sage, and then you kind of keep that good energy with Palo Santo and the smoke and all the different meanings behind it. But guaiac wood is Palo Santo, and I like the fact that it doesn't require fire to do because, well, safety hazard, but also the smoke. I'd probably rather not do that for the respiratory system of this household, especially because of Sebastian. So we use it as that. And I just found out that it's amazing for skin, by the way. Just found out that guaiac wood is amazing for skin. I didn't know that.
I've been adding it to my skin, like my little skin serum blend that I make. I use a number of different oils, floral oils and wood oils. And I was they usually use cedar wood, and I just started, using guaiaca wood. Is that it?
Guaiac, yeah, guaiac wood.
Yeah, I started using that, and I love the smell. I love my skin feels really good and really smooth. So yeah, I definitely have been using it in my skincare
Amazing.
regimen as well, and definitely it's super grounding right now. And I was going to kind of add to the whole change, this whole season for me. I really feel like it's an election year. I'm not going to talk about politics, but it's been stressful, right?
Yeah.
We all have our differences in opinion, and the thing is everybody has their opinion. Everybody's very vocal on social media, and for me, Guayakwood helps to keep me grounded and to feeling peaceful, because right now the world needs a whole lot of chill the heck out, being peaceful, right? So it's definitely a staple for me right now, for the next few months, is using this grounding oil. So
Yeah,
yep,
talking. Thought, yeah, if you want to lose friends, talk about politics. So I don't
yeah,
want
exactly.
to. So it's not like, yeah. So not going in that soapbox today. We are
Yeah,
going to talk some of the ways that you can do the self care, connecting with the grounding. Shirin Yoku, I think we've mentioned Shirin Yoku every single time we're here, and that is the forest bathing concept. The doctor in Japan started doing with his patients, and he saw an incredible change in in their mood and their behavior, and it was very connected to people taking their own lives. So he saw a dramatic change in that, positive change. And one of the things that I listed as one of the self-care routines is go in nature. We But then you have the change of the season. So autumn, fall, you're good. But then some places, wintertime, you're definitely more indoors, right? We went to visit Maine for the first time. Luke's mom's family's from there. So we usually go to Kansas, and then we went to Maine. And that was awesome. But we went through the summer, and they were explaining to us how the seasons change. And they're like, yeah, you need to come in December, January, March, and see what it's like. But there was some positives from that. Is people do stay more indoors, but from what I gathered from our family, the moms, they're like, well, we that's time for us to regroup, reconnect with the family, do activities indoors. We do go outside. They just do it in the snow and different things. A little, definitely more. You have a lot more. Um, you don't have as much freedom, right, to do certain things, but they obviously do their activities other ways. And one of the things that she said was, that's why spring cleaning is such a big thing for us, which isn't a big thing here in Hawaii. Like I feel like we live in another world compared to the continent, because all these things about seasons, even like the seasons, I don't even know when it begins, when it ends. I just in the past few years, the kids are in school, and then I started paying attention. But up until then, it was like, looks the same, feels the same all year long. But for them, there's a change. And she also mentioned about I think a muddy month, they call it the mud month, I guess, because the snow becomes like water, and then water and mud and all that. So, but there's the beauty of that change also, right? But they did talk about how they cleanse the place. Some of my cousins, they're like sister-in-law cousin, they do the cleanse of their places, and that's the time that they kind of do indoor activities a little bit more. One of the things too that I noticed, that in the mainland, I feel maybe obviously here too, but I noticed that, and just now it makes sense. All of my Luke's family, they're in the mainland, and they have boxes and boxes and boxes inside their garages. And it's a box for fall, a box for Halloween, a box for Christmas, a box. So that's why they don't park their cars inside their garages, right? And I thought that was so weird when I went there the first time. This is like 13 years ago. And now it all makes sense because creating the cozy atmosphere at home is important because you spend a lot of time in there. So now I get it, like decorations, go for it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and you guys do that in California too, right?
Oh, for sure. I was gonna say that's exactly how my garage looks. I have those black and yellow lid bins from Costco, and there's at least 3 for Christmas, but and then a couple for Halloween, one for decorations, one for costumes. And we've even got an Easter one. So yeah, there's definitely seasonal boxes that made me laugh. Yeah. Well, and I think too in Hawaii, there's not really not as many homes. It's more apartment style or townhouse, and maybe not as many outdoor decorations like it would be here, because a lot of it is outdoor decorations as well.
Yeah, and I think the sizes of homes too, very different, right? Of course, there are humongous homes here, but I don't think they're keeping their decorations in the garage. They just hire somebody to do it and then they take it down. So
Yeah.
it's just
there's somebody living
nice,
in their
right?
garage. There's
What?
somebody living in their garage.
To help pay for the mortgage.
The garage became a ohana house.
Yep, it became an ohana house. That's exactly.
Yeah, that's hashtag Hawaii. But yeah, but I thought that was the funniest thing when I came from Brazil. And I was in San Diego, so they had all these things in the garage, and I was like, oh my gosh, these people are hoarders, right? So I thought I was babysitting for the family. And I was like, oh, this is a lot of stuff in your garage. You don't park your cars in the garage? And they're like, no, we just park outside. Guys, under the developing country, United States, complete culture shock. We never park outside. We park in the garage. So that all of that, just in hindsight, just looking back, and it's wow, it's culturally completely different. But so just all of that encompasses the reason why certain things are done. Also in Brazil, we don't really have seasons except for south of Brazil. So somewhat similar to the tropics here, we don't have the need to make those big adjustments, right? Seasons, decoration in the home, but there is a reason for that. So you're making the environment cozy. So that's another self-care for fall. Make your environment cozy. And it reminds me of hygge, the Danish tradition, right, of coziness. And we have a blend called hygge too. I hope that blend comes back soon. And it's all about being cozy and comfortable, comfy and fluffy, warm, right? Which for Hawaii, you're like, don't even talk about warm. You're always hot. But nourishing your body, we went back to nutrition now. Do you see a change, Christina, in what you eat during the cold months?
For sure. I definitely am a soup person. I like soups and stews. I wish my kids ate them more, but I definitely go out and get pho, because they will eat pho, Vietnamese noodle soup, for those of you who are not familiar. So that's cool. That's always a go-to. But yeah, just more warm, hearty type of nourishing, filling types of foods for sure. Root vegetables, things like that. Yes, exactly. Seasonal ingredients, squashes.
And all these drinks made sense all of a sudden, right? I just started learning about why do people drink this stuff on wintertime? For us here, again, it's a different vibe. But I mean, if it's 75, we are doing hot chocolate and sweaters.
Oh man, my girls do hot chocolate year round. You can't talk them out of that. But yeah, it is time where the here in the mainland, in our backyard and in other places, the orchards are the apple orchards are nice and ripe, and people can go apple picking or pear picking. I think it's the end of peaches. I don't really think there's that many left. Our backyard, when our nectarine tree is finally ready, it's about done in a week. So you have to get those nectarines quick when they're done. But yeah, it's really fun to go and do fruit picking and go to the pumpkin patch and do all those traditional things with the family. That's definitely a sign of seasonal change and a nice tradition that people can participate in. So that's always fun. I think there's some spots on Hawaii where you can. I know definitely they have the pumpkin farm, Waimanalo.
Yeah,
I
pumpkin, yes.
love.
We do have apple apples that are grown in Hawaii, but very, very rare. Like,
Yeah, it's such a different climate, right? So yeah, but it's okay. That's the interesting thing about living on the islands is you do learn that tropical lifestyle and adapt to having you know, sandy Christmases and celebrating humpback whales and other seasonal types of things that happen in the wintertime in Hawaii. So that's always fun too.
it's fun, but then either way, we adhere to the traditions of winter, regardless of the
Exactly.
weather. And
Winter in Hawaii means that there's surf. So it is a little different. Like people kind of crack up because I'll show a picture of the beach and there's waves and coming in and I'm like, winter is here, and it's like me and my surf friends are all like, yay, because that means we get to surf and get in the water and have fun. So yeah, it is a little different.
I was gonna say Teddy's excited to say winter is coming.
Yeah, winter is coming because I've been watching Game of Thrones. I'm on the whole Game of Thrones train now. My husband and I, it's like been 13 years since it came out. We finally just started watching it, binge watching it, and it's just so fun, But yeah, winter is coming. In Kailua, that means waves.
I know winter's coming, and you're in a bathing suit, right? Completely different.
I know.
Cold, like well, but the beauty of it too,
Yeah.
just really taking in the place, and that's another self-care
Yeah.
tip there. Just embrace the season. That's just what it is, right? Can't change. Well, Maharishi, when we were studying in India, he said we can change the weather. A little hard, but winter will come, and probably not as severe, as intense as the past years. That's what we heard from our family in Maine. They said, hey, this one lake used to freeze and it didn't this year. So things are changing for sure. Also, as the days get shorter, so I made another from the list that I created here, the sleep, the circadian rhythm. And if you have a chance, go check out Dr. Carla Garjaka's live that she did specifically on sleep and insomnia. We'll touch briefly on this, but your circadian rhythm gets a little changed because of the light and the dark, right? The time that the sun goes down. But if you stick to the time, I think we're good. Well, in Hawaii, we don't have that time change, but you still have it. You have it in the mainland, right, Christina?
It's so funny. I feel so removed sometimes because it's like, oh, you guys mainland and their dumb time change. Why don't they just keep it like that's yeah.
I thought we had something going on in the books to try and take it out, but who knows what's going on. Again, politics. We don't want to talk about that. Yeah, it would be great to get rid of that because that's the biggest struggle for me as a mom in back to school time where I'm trying to get my kids to go to bed at 8 and it's like bright outside and they're like, but it's not bedtime. I'm like, I get that. I totally get that. But yeah, then all of the light blocking stuff goes back in the window. Bedtime.
I love it. Yeah, so, and also gentle stretching. Another thing that I keep talking about it, I do a whole lot more of it in my yoga classes when I'm teaching yoga, the breath work. That has been such a, we've always done it, but it's becoming a little bit more talked about, right? It's becoming a little more popular. So I mentioned some of the books that I recommend if you want to go a little deeper into breath. I even separated them today. So this is the oxygen advantage, the healing power of breath, and the body keeps the score. The parallels in these books are kind of the same, really. The ideas of it. It's a holistic approach to trauma, to being able to really get that connection, mind and body. And all of them mention yoga in it. So which is really cool. And it's all there's tons of different links there for the studies that were used as reference for the writing of the books. And it's nice to see that you don't really need anything else but your breath, right? And do the breath work and really prioritize nose breathing, which is a very simple thing, but not as simple if you have a deviated septum, or if you have any constrictions of your nasal passages, or if you have any other type of health issues that prevent you from breathing through your nose. So don't take it for granted. Breathing through the nose is a gift and even changes your jaw, right? The shape of your face. So it's a big deal. That's why I see a lot more people getting the surgery to correct the deviated septum. And it makes sense because you need to breathe. So just make sure that you prioritize that good diaphragmatic breathing. And you can do that in 5 minutes every day, consciously in the morning and at night. It regulates your nervous system. And as you do that, your body gets accustomed to you breathing that way. So then more like there's even like the little strap. Have you seen those that you can keep your mouth closed? Because people are putting tape on their mouth and that looks really savage. So just there's like a little Velcro thing that you buy for like $10. It works. So just breathing, right? And another one here is, again, community. So, but as a mom, maybe Christina can elaborate a little bit more. I feel like our path is very lonely a lot of the times. Yeah, even though we have lots of acquaintances, lots of friends and family, but the day-to-day, it's kind of like you and your kids, right? And then when they go to school, it's like you and you. So how does that resonate, Christina? And Teddy, right? She's kind of out of that. But
Teddy's getting back to her friends finally.
Well, and I talk to my kids on the phone and through social media, so there's still some parenting that goes on, and they still get stressed out, but yeah, I'm definitely kind of broken away from all that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was like one of the biggest wake-up calls becoming a parent, was to see how the friend groups change. And I don't really think it's on purpose at all. But when other people don't have kids and then you do, it's just a totally different dynamic. And I don't know if they feel like they're being intrusive, or the now all of a sudden as a parent you don't have time for them and are able to go out anymore. But it's hard. That's one of the hardest things that I've encountered as a parent, actually. Not to get all like sad, but it's a reality. And so yeah, just for those of you who have friends who are getting pregnant and stuff, and maybe you don't have kids, like, keep reaching out, because they miss you.
Yeah.
And they still want to spend time with you. But the other flip side is that there are really cool parents that you meet. Sometimes people find like baby groups that they join, mom baby groups, and that's really like, if you can get in on that right away, then that's really awesome, because then you have babies that your baby grows up with, and it can be a lifetime relationship between not only you and that mom or parent, but of the kids being lifelong friends too, hopefully. Then of course, as they grow older and they enter school and different like groups of activity, then you start to get a bigger friend group in that sense too. So, but yeah, it does take some time to get your like that core friend group back sometimes. And so that is definitely something to be aware of. I think on each side for a community that parents still miss their other friends.
Yeah, but it's a harsh reality to face, but it happens to, I think, to a lot of us.
Yeah.
Unless you're lucky enough to be pregnant with your best friends and then have the kids and then they're the same age and then they do the same things and they like the same stuff,
Yeah.
which is so rare. I mean, if you have that, oh, that's amazing. But for the most part, what I've noticed is that a lot of our circles are dictated by what our kids enjoy doing, because we want them to do the things, to experience the different experiences. But one thing, we can just unfold in so many layers as we talk about this. That's why I focus so much on women and mothers, and dads too, because they're there too, and it is important, but a different lingo, I think, when we speak to women and men. But I'm sure we can all relate to the same feelings. And one of the the types of traumas that are not recognized often, but they are traumas, is emotional neglect and being neglected. But it's not on purpose, just like you said. It's just because different phase, different activities. We have three energetic, crazy kids. So I totally get if I have a couple who are friends, they've been friends with us forever, which we have. They have no kids, and it's like, bro, you don't want to come to my house.
Yeah, you will. Exactly. There's going to be a lot of those differences, and so,
Yeah.
and some of your friends, maybe you're not an animal person. Some of your friends are just going to have animals. So, and that's why, like, I was going to add to that as when I was a younger mother, it's important to have your own hobbies outside of your kids, because that's going to create another friend circle there. Because once empty nest comes, you need something to fall back. I see this a problem so many times is people they just consume only kids like that. They only focus 24/7 about their kids. And what happens is when their kids are moved on and out of the house, they're kind of like they're left, they feel abandoned because they haven't figured out how to be alone, right? So it's definitely in your best interest to get a side hobby that doesn't include kids, because you will have another set of friends there always, So, or like the group exercise classes, right? Group exercise classes, yeah.
Or this right here.
Or this, yeah.
This is why I'm so grateful for the sisterhood that we've been a part of for a decade now. But again, we are all in different stages of life. Christina and I similar, but we live in different states, and I'm very far, right? But Teddy is in another phase. She's all over, traveling, go here, there. The different type of flexibility and freedom that I really look forward to. We'll get there someday. At the same time as we are embracing the season, we're the season, the change of the seasons, but embracing this season of my life. But sometimes kind of lose it a little bit. I'll be like, why? Why can't I, but it's just a phase. That's why these practices we share because that's what we do. That's because I need it for myself. And that's why I come and share. And today, I think for me, one of the most cherished times of my life, this moment, is 5 a.m. workout crew. It's like a mom gang at F45. And again, the community aspect of it. Not only, you pursue your health and your goals as far as like fitness, but I feel like we're creating this energy of how you see yourself, your self-image, your identity, keeping your identity outside of parenthood, just like Teddy mentioned.
Yep, that's it.
That has always been a huge thing. Yeah. That's why I'm grateful to the path that doTERRA has become for me, my family, for all of you, because it is a form of me keeping my identity outside of everything else that requires my love, attention, and time. But It is. And when I see like Teddy going out with her husband, even like as a couple, man, it's tough, as you go through the changes. Christina knows this very well. It's, you kind of try to navigate and do the best you can and kind of think and hold on to the thing like, hey, it's temporary, right? But is it? But we keep holding on. That's why that identity outside of all of it is crucial. Just to keep pursuing your passions, your goals. I'm always encouraging all of us, women and men, to keep doing that. It's important. Even for like how you started, Christina, as a role model to your children, they're watching you, right? So that's part of like, hey, it's what mommy and daddy do, and this is what we are going to do too. They'll mimic everything. Going back to that little list that I made. So explore fall themed crafts. I am so not crafty. So doing this is like pulling teeth for me, okay? I know Christina's crafty.
Same
I
here.
love it.
Ugh.
I don't like paint parties. I get invited to paint parties all the time, and I'm not a
drink.
painter. I don't
I'll have
like
the-
to paint.
I'll have the drink and you paint. How's that?
Yeah. That's a thing. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not into painting. So
I know. But I do it for the kids. You do it. So we're starting to do this cute crafts, and I'm like, even cooking is a big thing here in our household. It takes a lot more time. We made pancakes today in Pikachu shape, and just to pour that batter in the machine is like, okay, it took you 4 minutes. Could have done that in 30 seconds. But it's just a phase. And that's just the phase that we're in right now. And of course, physical activity. I'm going to put that in that list. And all these comments stay recorded on the YouTube. And fall fitness. So I am a fan of groups of fitness, like places. Just do it. It is so much more fun. It is so much more encouraging than doing it by yourself. Sometimes, we go at 5 a.m. Sometimes that alarm clock goes off at 4, and I'm like, a lot of the times I'm not showing up for myself. I'm showing up because there's a group there, and for that I'm grateful. And yoga, of course, right? I feel like yoga is a really amazing place to get that time for not only your body but also your mind. And this is a big one. It's a hard one, and we started doing this at home. This is a really hard one, but it's such an important one. Oh boy. Detox from screens. Ooh. Yeah. Have you guys done a detox from screens?
I've been trying to recently, again, because of just the general climate of my social media right now with what's going on in November. It is a good time to take a break, because it will just, kind of drive you bananas, and just, seeing so many. I feel like a child whose parents are arguing, like, mom and dad are fighting. Like, that's how I feel. And I guess it's because, and maybe again, that's my own thing. Growing up, I never really liked conflict. So, seeing that, it's just, I have to take a deep breath. And I wanted to mention too, fall activities, pickleball, greatest thing ever, funnest thing ever. Definitely, I'm a fan of pickleball. Get out there, have some fun. Again, you'll have a whole new set of friends. You'll be playing with 80-year-old Betty that has a knee brace, and then you'll be playing with a 50-year-old. You'll be playing with a 30-year-old, like all ages, all different backgrounds. Again, having a great community like that, that's another way to reduce sadness or seasonal, that seasonal depression. Get out there, take a lesson. It's, super fun. And you will never be sad. You will never be depressed playing.
Yes, I love that. I think the device thing is a hard one, but we've done it we're doing it actually, and it's not something that, oh, we're just going to do it for a month. It's like we did it. Like the kids have no phones, no iPads, which is so hard. It is hard. It's not easy. And we just keep them outside and keep them doing, then the crafts come in handy. So then you keep them doing crafts and art and all the things. And my house is a mess all the time, but hey, whatever, it's a phase, right? And we do a movie together during the week as a family. And I really like this app called Bent Key. Have you guys heard of that? It's from the Daily Wire. You know Daily Wire? I really love it. There is no ideology in it for Bent Key. We don't do Netflix, so we do Bent Key. I highly recommend the app for kids. It's all children.
Spell that. How do you spell
Bent,
that?
Bent Key, just like a key bent. Bent.
Oh, okay.
Love it. Yes. So we're doing that. And there's no ideas of all this stuff that is so controversial today. And I just don't want the kids thinking about it, because they'll have a whole lot of time to be exposed to that, to think about it's their own lives too, right? But up until they are under my wing, I want to be able to not have to touch certain things, right? So then we kind of put a stop on the screen stuff. Also knowing from that book that we've shared here a few times, The Anxiety Generation, a lot of the people that do the digital detox, they feel that their anxiety levels are almost non-existent. So it brings a whole lot of social pressure, right? Young adults, 20s, 30s, they feel social pressure to post, to compare, to make it better. And we work on the internet. I have a social media account that I work with. So, but I have somebody that does it. I don't do it myself. And that was one of the things that I had to change. So once, I got to a space that I could do that, I did that right away. And that frees me up to be in my physical, normal life here, instead of just being but there is a life in the screen. We're here, right? We're here. So it's really hard to not have something that's so, it's important, because school is done. I'm in school. I'm doing schooling hybrid. So I need this to do everything from school to paying bills to, communication. It's all done here. So can't really get away from it, but you can control it a little bit more. And that's what we've done. So maybe that can work for your family. And, I'll tell you, Wallace's behavior drastically changed after we did that. So and even connecting to insomnia, kids, 35% of kids are the ones that are having insomnia these days. And a lot of it is, all the melatonin being eaten up by the blue light. So all these things, they're all connected. So once we started doing that, things changed. So I think, and then we don't do a lot of the dyes, the red color, the erratic behavior is connected to that, all of the things. So if you can try to get away from it little bit by little bit, the better. And then the last one that I put on that little list was goal setting. As you know, we are at the last, coming up to the last quarter of the year. And we're doing this as a family, kind of like going back on all the things that we've done. And we've already set what we're doing next June, which we never did that before. But because we did that this year, we're like, okay, so June is the month that we do things as a family. We kind of take off, and we already know what we're doing next June, which is so unusual for us. We've never done this, but it feels so good because
the kids are getting busier, so you have to do that. So yeah, Pam, they're in sports. Your life is going to revolve around sports, soccer field, sweaty soccer field.
So stinky.
Get them into paddling.
I'm waiting for Addie to turn 12 because they won't take.
Yes, you will love it. Paddling is so great. Not a sweaty soccer field.
Boy, they're so
you have to
stinky.
plan it. Yeah, I know.
Oils everywhere, like Camilla, Luca, Purify. My car smells good all the time because I spray them as they come in. I'm like, shh. I know. Yeah. So all these things, and this is the app. Love that. I like that one. And there is a quote here that I think has a lot in connection to what we're talking about today. It says, everything in this world is temporary. Life change, people come and go, and season never lasts. Always remember that. Your present situation is not your final destination. And also connected to the same train of thought is, I think just like the seasons, life kind of circles back to teach us lessons that we haven't learned yet. So if it's circling back, it's like, okay, what can I take from it? How can I make it better? How can I transcend this? So I always take that as a reminder that, hey, it's gonna pass, right? Everything is temporary. So Christina will be there, with grown kids, and I'm sure Teddy misses it a little bit, or she hasn't had time yet to miss it.
No, I did. Yeah, I definitely do. Like I definitely.
You look
I
it.
miss them. I know. I miss them being little. I really do. I miss, their cute little questions and their little faces, and just, again, it goes by, in a blink of an eye. Like I reflect, I've been reflecting on this time of year too, that, a lot of people are sending their back to school pictures and, and all that. And, I remember those days, and it was just, I was definitely neck deep in it, stressed out. I'm glad I discovered essential oils about, halfway through my parenting. I really wish I discovered them early on, but, finding them halfway through my parenting, when my older ones were teenagers, was still a gift and still a blessing, and definitely helped me be a better mom, and a better wife, and, be more present for them. So.
Yes. What else, Christina, you want to add?
Yeah, no, I'm thankful for my oils. I remember when I did my little backward twist, and as a fully pregnant woman 10 plus years ago, and saw Pam in the back of the room, and we were reconnected, and I'm really grateful for that, because that's how I was able to be introduced to this essential oil world. So I'm thankful for having them in my life as a mom as well. I'm excited that as my girls enter puberty, hopefully not soon, in a couple years, I hope still. But again, I'm glad for my oils for helping me keep my kids healthy in a way that they're able to hopefully have a healthy life and not get that early menses like is happening to so many other kids out there. And that when it does eventually happen, whenever it happens, that I have tools to help them through their hormonal changes and emotional regulation that comes with those hormonal changes that we all know about. So there's so many reasons I'm thankful for the essential oils. And I look forward to next week when we get to learn about the new products that doTERRA is releasing soon. So I'm super excited to hear about the new stuff.
Blow our minds. I know it because that's what we do.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait to be with all of you. We're gonna be there hugging each other. It's so awesome.
Oh my God, awesome.
Yeah, we'll see each other in less than a week. Yeah. Less than a week. Well, thank you for being here always. I love you, girls, and very grateful
for having
us being together here. And we'll come back the week after convention.
Yep.
Aloha.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Thank you, sisters.